Good morning and welcome to London, a city that's all dressed up for a very special occasion, a royal wedding between a handsome prince and a lovely commoner. Their romance has lifted this nation and drawn the attention of millions round the world. This promises to be a day of great pomp and pageantry as His Royal Highness Prince Andrew and Sarah Fergusson are wed at Westminster Abbey today, Wednesday, July the 23rd, 1986.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today. The Royal Wedding with Bryant Gumbel and Jane Pauley, live from London.
And good morning. Welcome to a very special edition of Today on this Wednesday morning. It's a day where we are getting set from a wedding, and yes, that is Buckingham Palace behind us, where about 25 minutes from now, Queen Elizabeth will come out to begin the royal procession towards Westminster Abbey, where the service will be held about 1 hour from now. The guests will start assembling there, about 10 minutes from now or so. First things first, let's talk about the weather. What do you think?
I think that perhaps we should fix our attention on the blue sky and fluffy clouds overhead so that we can remember how they were. We may not see much more of the sunshine.
Exactly the point. We should note that while it's expected to reach a high of somewhere about 65, 68 degrees, they are saying it will get gray later in the day, and we may even see some thunder showers. We've got an awful lot to show you and
I mean, the services traditionally have... no one in Britain can get offended if you go into the services, and in almost anything else he does, he would be accused of capitalising on his royal name.
It's a good neutral kind of a role.
he does not look nervous.
I think he looks terrific. He's a good-looking young man.
He's matured enormously, too, in the last couple of years, Andrew, since the Falklands. I think Sarah's done a great deal in a way to help.
Really?
One of those men on the coach will be a Secret Service man, perhaps both of them will be, and they're armed underneath that ceremonial.
Are my ears deceiving me, or is he the crowd favorite on this day?
Looking for the bride.
Is it my imagination, or have I seen more redheads on the street these days with this going on?
Yes, I think a lot of Hannah bottles have been sold.
Here she comes. Here she comes. Look carefully.
Our first glimpse of the dress.
Well, Jane was right. You can't tell much from that.
Oh, but it still makes the heart go
Yes.
flutter.
Now, we do, although we are embargoed a little bit from telling you much about it, these are the taped sketches of the dress that she is wearing today, and contrary to all that we had heard about it being wild and outlandish, it looks very traditional, does it not?
And it is not.
To stress the fact that she would, in fact, bow to him.
Old-fashioned, yes.
Old-fashioned.
She emphasized her old-fashioned spirit.
Very much so. The English upper-class girls have not actually discovered women's lib. I mean, it's really passed them by completely, in a way.
But see, I disagree. I think she has discovered it.
Oh,
but she was going to pay
That was cute.
downplay it.
That was cute, and I wish I could identify. I do believe that was Prince William who just laid a little kiss
has
on.
Yes,
on
the
one of
the little page boys, two are dressed as midshipmen. Is that term clear to you?
Yes.
And then two, including Prince William, in sailor suits.
And that's Linda Chirac. Has that?
Chirac.
Yes.
She is the designer who, like the Emanuels 5 years ago, is left with the details of making sure it lies just perfectly.
This is the unveiling of the dress that everyone has waited for.
This is the historical photograph moment.
I think the first feeling is one of great relief, because there were all kinds of dreadful rumours that the dress was going to be peach and scarlet and
But
short.
who really believed those?
But it was very good fun. It's a good
moment.
decoy. But she's gone for a very traditional dress, which I'm pleased about, because I don't think something very adventurous would have been right.
The veil and the headpiece is somewhat more than I had expected.
Yes. She's got such wonderful hair. I think she's made that the focus of her
I don't know if you can hear it or not, but the people down there are yelling, "Sarah, Sarah," which doesn't seem very royal, but
Well, she walks in, Miss
it is
Fergusson,
nonetheless warm.
and she walks out today, the Duchess of York.
Amazing transformation.
17 and a half feet of train.
A much more manageable length than the Princess of Wales 30-foot, which she struggled with so charmingly in the wind, as people might remember, when she came out of the church, and Prince Charles stopped and helped her unfold it.
She says,
She does look, she looks happy. And yes, she looks thin.
now.
Yes, she looks wonderful, actually. I mean, she does look
There's the bow.
terrific.
That as the ubiquitous bow at the top of the train, which is not.
The heated swimming pool doesn't usually call in to see the Queen, but the new Duchess of York always makes sure she looks in on the Queen.
Is Diana closer to the Queen Mother?
No, I think that's a myth. In fact, I'm told it was the other way around, that Diana moved into Clarence House with the Queen Mother and couldn't stand it and moved out very quickly again.
It's interesting to see her hair free-flowing because there are a number of people, having seen the formal pictures, were worried that she might truss it up.
It's a very good idea, I think, to leave it long.
Those are not the faces of tense people. Those are relieved, happy people.
Accent on the relieved.
Wow.
Good shot of her right there.
The Queen Mother did play less of a role, though, in this marriage than the last one, because although the Princess of Wales is not close to her particularly now, nonetheless, it was the Queen Mother who kind of engineered the last match, because her lady-in-waiting, Lady Fermoy, is Princess Diana's grandmother. She always liked Diana very much.
They're right behind. You can see Prince William in the sailor hat, little Prince William.
Being such a good boy.
He has been very good. I mean, as the father of a 3-year-old, and Jane, you should partake of this too. It is very difficult to control a little one in church. So maybe badly behaved might have been a little tough on him, but he's done well today.
Is that the midshipman's hat supposed to be worn at such a
No, he's not a
precarious
midshipman.
angle?
The two elder ones are midshipmen. He's just an ordinary rating, an ordinary sailor.
But nonetheless, is the hat supposed to be tipped back?
Yes, I think it is.
Good, good.
It's probably the first moment they can take in their friends in the congregation.
Perhaps you saw a little bit earlier, yes, that was Elton John in the middle of your picture. He is among the invited guests. Yes, he was dressed for the occasion.
They do have a very strange assortment of show business friends. One of their closest friends seems to be David Frost, who's married to the Duke of Norfolk's daughter, and for that reason she's a friend of Fergie.
Other than Mrs. Reagan, are you aware of Americans in the crowd at all?
I don't think so, no. There is the Canadian girlfriend of Prince Andrew, Sandy Jones.
That's a good question. I'm not aware of any, as we looked over the list. We're going to be coming back in just a moment as the royal party exits Westminster Abbey. We'll get a shot of them getting into the carriage and coming back to Buckingham Palace. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, this is a special edition of Today on NBC. We're back in London, and you are seeing the royal procession starting to exit from Westminster Abbey. We were just noting that as they got in the carriage, Prince Andrew and his bride, Sarah, he was taking on his first husbandly duty. He was helping her with the train.
Father, I just hear, honey, let me help.
That'll last about 2 weeks. No, I'm just teasing.
No, I think he's going to be a good helpmate.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Some of the most delightful photographs last year were of the wind lifting the train and the little bridesmaids falling about all over it.
Now, as we noted a little bit earlier, they will backtrack to Buckingham Palace, and they will return in the reverse order in which they arrived. The Queen left the palace first. She'll be the last to arrive. And a couple you see right there were the last to arrive at Westminster Abbey. They're the first to leave. It is, after all, their day.
She arrives in a glass coach. I guess that's to protect the bride. It's as if the bride arrived in a bell jar. And now it's the top is down.
She's got the royal wave down, doesn't she?
Yeah, she looks already as though she's got a bit more stamina than her husband.
There's no doubt that Sarah is to the manner born. She loves the public attention and she seems to excel at it.
How long will that last?
I think she's going to grow more and more into the part. It seems to me that she has a natural extrovert flamboyance.
Yes. Not sure.
I think it's only right she should keep 300 million
Hold
viewers
it,
around
hold
the
it,
world
hold
waiting,
it.
don't you think?
Here we go, I think. I think as we can look through the...
I think somebody just walked by very quickly
Maybe
and
false
made the
alarm.
curtain sway.
No, but they just saw one of the youngsters standing by the window, and we did make out the silhouette of the bride. Now, false alarm again. And no, I'm not going to tell you anything about local news.
Why don't you just fill us in? Give us a traffic report in some hypothetical city that may be
Word.
listening.
If we feel like this, imagine with the photographers up there.
Yeah, I know.
I'm fine. I don't have anywhere to go.
You know,
Happy to wait.
well, that's true. We're going to give you your goodbye a little bit later. I mean, you are moving into the final stages of your tenure, I guess, until you make your grand entrance, reappearance on what? October what?
I guess I'm coming back on 10th.
October 10th?
October 10th.
Hold it.
There we
There it
are.
goes.
Or we're going to have to lower the balcony railing in order
Yes.
to make sure we get all the IDs.
I think Diana's holding Harry. You tell me if I'm right, just at the end of the balcony.
Yes,
She's
there he
standing-
is. Yeah, that's him waving.
He's got the wave.
He's got a good wave on him. And there in the bottom right-hand corner is William with my niece Laura. Laura looking as though she's taking the bow.
Laura, is your sister Jane?
Yes, my sister Jane's eldest daughter.
Oh, look at this scene behind us, Jane. These people, the 4 people are lifting up a wheelchair so that a young lady, here, help me out, right through here.
Just here in the green.
Right down here, right
the
down
grass.
here. Down below.
Between Bryant and...
Down below. Look, right here, right between Jane and I.
Just on the left there.
Right here, Howard. Look between Jane and I.
There you've got it.
There you've got it.
They are. They're
They
holding
have
up
lifted up the wheelchair in order for the lady to have a look. That's nice.
Oh,
There it is.
that's a kiss.
people obviously believe it was well worth the wait. And we might add that some of those who had left came running back when the screams go off. Queen moving back inside there. Some of the little ones too. See them pointing. What do they point at?
I reckon.
I mean, certainly they're not picking out faces.
No, but if you're standing up there, you can't just smile dumbly.
I see.
You've got to keep each other entertained.
So you point intelligently.
That's right.
That's
point
correct. Thank
intelligently.
you.
Say cheese.
We're going to come back.
Say royal refresher.
We're going to come back in just a moment. There's much more to come from London. We'll get to it right after this.